All right, can you hear this? Good.
Sorry.
Okay. Let us know when we're ready. Who are we looking to? Go ahead, Mayor.
Okay, hi. Baron Castile, Mayor of the City of New Braunfels. I'm joined here with County Judge Sherman Krause, Robert Camarino, our City Manager, our Police Chief Tom Weibert, and our Fire Chief Patrick O'Connell. I'd like to thank City staff for working over the last couple of weeks. I'd also especially like to tell Comal County and the Comal County Public Health Department how much we appreciate their partnership and their leadership during this time. Today, the City of New Braunfels is going to announce a stay-at-home and work-safe order. That order will be effective beginning tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. That's Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. The reason for the order taking effect Wednesday evening at the end of the day is so that the employers and the citizens of New Braunfels, so that they can plan through today and plan through tomorrow in order to comply with this order. Please understand that the order does not affect a number of essential services. It does not impact grocery stores specifically. Please understand it does not impact healthcare related services. So today is not the time to rush to H-E-B, Arlen's, any of the number of markets and meat markets in the City of New Braunfels. They will continue to operate. We ask that you follow the guidelines set out by CDC and also by order of the city within the city limits. Maintain 6 feet of distance. Your compliance, your follow-through with this order will benefit us all. This morning we received additional information from our healthcare providers and professionals about the need to respond a little bit more vigorously to the health crisis involving COVID-19, that without person-to-person contact, that the virus, we will stem the increase in spread. So these measures are done so in order to slow down the spread of COVID-19. I'd like to point out that today we only have five positives in the county of Comal. My understanding is 4 in the county of Guadalupe, and at this point, none has been deemed community spread. That will change in the days ahead. That's what we're told by our healthcare professionals. And so it's important that we do all of those things, practice good hygiene, avoid close personal contact with one another, do those things that are necessary to protect your fellow citizens and your family so that we can go back to life, to life as we would like to consider normal in the days ahead. And with that, I'd like to hand it over. I'd like to hand it over to the city manager, and then I'll hand it over to you, Judge. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To the City of New Braunfels, I think the message here is quite simple. Stay at home when at all possible. Doing this will help to flatten the curve and slow the spread of the virus within our community, and then hopefully not inundate our healthcare systems within our own community. We will be posting the order soon. We are also working on a hotline, which we will stand up tomorrow morning, that will be available for people that may have questions, and we'll publish that phone number just as quickly as possible. As the mayor mentioned, there will be exemptions in the order that will allow for essential travel throughout our community to get the essentials that you may need with regards to food, if you have to go to a pharmacy, just as an example. There will also be exemptions for essential businesses that will be outlined in the order as well. As far as enforcement goes, our approach will be to educate and seek voluntary compliance and only cite if absolutely necessary. Again, we will be posting this information this order on our website, on our Facebook page, as soon as possible, and we'll have a hotline set up tomorrow morning.
I'd like to remind everyone that we're acting in an abundance of caution. We are doing so in order to protect one another. And so please be patient, please be kind to one another. We're going to be here to answer the questions that you may have in an effort so that you're not contacting our fire department or our police department unless it is necessary. So we'll establish that hotline and answer those questions. I'm sure that many people will have a number of questions, and we're here to serve. So don't hesitate. If you got a concern, call us at that number, and we'll walk you through it. We'd like to go back to a state of normalcy in our community just as quick as possible, and with your help, we believe that will be possible in the days ahead. So I understand. Do we have anybody that may have any questions? You know, to tell you, and I'm going to tell you that getting results back are going to vary because we're receiving results from other counties and from all the healthcare providers that are out there. So to tell you, I mean, to give you an understanding of what we've heard so far, they're all very, very different. And so, but I will tell you that from our understanding, that tests are continuing, and the number of tests that are being conducted in our community are constantly continuing and growing. And the good part about it is the vast majority of them are negative. And so that's the good news, but we're going to continue to see positive tests in the days ahead. That's what we're being told by our healthcare providers.
As we look forward to more the first community spread cases, when should residents start going into self-quarantine? How do they know when to begin that process? Is it because right now it's when you get a positive result or when you return from travel?
You know, let me. The good part about it is if you have these questions, certainly we have a hotline. Our county has got a hotline at the Comal County Public Health Department to answer a number of these questions. Obviously, if you're running a temperature, don't go out. We're asking everyone not to go out in public unless it is for essential needs or that you're a part of one of these essential businesses. So, you know, at this point, we're asking. And what we're being told is the less contact that we're having with one another right now, the better off we are. The more we're going to have an impact on stopping the spread of COVID-19.
I see the county judge is here. Is this currently just citywide, or is this also going countywide?
Warren, thank you for the question. Right now, the city is implementing this new order because they think it is the best course of action for the city of New Braunfels. We, as Comal County, are here to support them in that effort, but no, we are not planning that today. As you've seen, things change from day to day. Today, we are not planning on implementing that countywide.
Thank you. And you talked about how this order is basically, it's being done on the honor system, voluntary, people doing this themselves. For the people who are under self-quarantine, is there any measure in place to, enforce that, make sure that people who have tested positive now and in the future are staying at home and not going in public?
I think those are questions for our county health authority with regards to how they are monitoring those patients that maybe have tested positive and are being quarantined. So I would direct you again to that hotline where you'll be able to get that question answered for you.
And obviously this is having a large effect on local businesses. Are there any measures being put into place that will assist them, or is that more of a state or federal level where it's being addressed?
I mean, that clearly is going to be an effort that we will all be undertaking in the days ahead. And so as far as helping one another that have been impacted from this disaster, are clearly going to be a goal of everyone in this community, not just city leaders. We currently are having conversations with our local nonprofits in a way to meet the need out there and to see which nonprofits are being impacted more than the others. And so I have to tell you that the great part about living in New Braunfels is you're very well aware that we take care of our own, and our nonprofits are out there working right now because a great many people in this community are impacted, not just from the current orders from the city, but just the overall health disaster that's occurring in our country right now.
I would like to add that one of our partners, which is the Greater New Braunfels Chamber of Commerce, is actually conducting a survey right now of their business membership to determine what their issues are and what their needs may be. That information will be extremely helpful to determine what maybe the federal and any state program or possibly any local program how we might be able to address any of those issues and needs.
Mayor Castillo, you mentioned, taking care of one another in this community. Are there any measures being put in place or any resources, nonprofit or from the city, to assist the elderly population in getting the resources that they need during this time?
Right. Our understanding is that, and that's also part of the governor's orders, so you understand. The nursing homes and elderly care facilities are all under the current governor's order as well as the city order. But as far as those elderly population living in their homes right now that may be impacted, one from the overall response, those are things that we're going to have to continue to struggle with each day. That's the reason why the city staff is working with the McKenna Foundation and other nonprofits to see about those needs that are not being met, and how we can deliver those necessities in the days ahead. The most vulnerable parts of our population are going to be impacted the longer that this health crisis goes on, and we're fully aware of that, and we'll be trying to figure out ways to respond to those needs.
I think this is my last question. Have you all started discussing how the May elections for, I know there's some propositions on the table, but there's also MBISD, I believe it is, or CSD bond for more than $300 million. Has there been any discussion about postponing that or doing that in an alternative method? So
the various governmental entities have been meeting daily for well over the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
And discussing all the various challenges. It's been a good partnership. We've been talking to MBU, CISD, MBISD, and we've also discussed the elections. I believe early voting begins on April the 20th. And so you'll have on our next agenda the City Council charter amendment for discussion. I fully anticipate that City Council will delay that, those charter amendments to a later date. We understand that we can do so through the Secretary of State's office, from the governor, and delay that to the November election. Each one of those governmental entities, that will be up to their board of trustees to determine. But at this point, I believe District 6 and District 5, as well as the mayor, were the items that were up for election this May. There were no opponents, so that election's been canceled, so all we have is the charter amendment. So I believe that council will find it easy to, out of the public concern of public health, will delay it until November of this year. And that's the right thing to do. We want every voter, every citizen in New Braunfels to be able to exercise their vote without fear or concern. And I would imagine that we're going to delay it till November.
Thank you very much for taking these questions.
I appreciate it. I want to say again, thank you to the citizens of New Braunfels, to the numerous businesses out there who have complied with the city of New Braunfels' response, as well as the governor's response. Many of these businesses have done so in advance of our order, out of concern of their own employees and their patrons. And so I certainly want to extend my gratitude to them, and trust me that we will be here in the days ahead to work with you, and we're looking forward to seeing this through just as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.